welcome to each one who is attending this workshop. So we are going to be learning many interesting things. ये आपका research methodology का unit है, fifth unit है, very important part of rewriting. So why is and what is academic writing? Can anybody please tell me? You can please write in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and answer. What do we understand by academic writing? And why do we need to learn the mechanics of writing? Mechanics and writing, how do these two relate? Mechanics is something which, reminds us of machines and tools, or writing is something which is completely different. So how can these two be related? What's the meaning of mechanics? How can mechanics be in writing? So anybody, if you can unmute yourself, or you can just write in the chat box, what do we understand with this?
Friends, you can answer in Hindi also.
Yes, you can please feel, because we are all in the field of learning and teaching and training and educating others. So let us really make this a very interactive session and understand why it is important. So yes, please.
Ma'am, I'm not very much sure about this, but is it related with how we should write things like punctuations and everything? How we should do this? This is part of mechanics of writing, is it?
Yes.
I'm not very much sure about this. I'm not very much sure.
You are very correct. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Anybody else? Yes. It deals with, of course, punctuation and the formal writing. So this is a part of academic writing. Now, how is academic writing different from any other kind of writing? First, let's understand this. Writing we are doing on a regular basis. Even if it's sending a WhatsApp message, you are writing something and sending. Or you may be sending emails, or you may be sending so many messages to each other on different platforms. So writing is something which is going on at all times, continuous process. But that could be informal writing. Messages that we send to our friends are informal. जो आपकी business communication, what you are doing in maybe in college, sending out mails, or carrying out so many formalities related to placement, or many different areas, वो आपका different kind of communication हो गया. Then the third kind is your research writing, your journals, your research papers, your PhD. So all this is part of academic writing. Now, academic writing has certain principles and certain formalities. Formal का मतलब होता है जहां formalities होती हैं. Informal means casual, where there are no formalities. आप अपनी मनमर्जी से लिख सकते हैं. There is no set rule. But whenever we talk of formality, there are certain rules and principles which we need to follow. क्योंकि उन rules and principles के बगैर मेरे formality will be incomplete. So if you go for a dinner, it's a formal dinner, then your attire is different, your getup is different, the dinner layout is different, the eating mannerism is different, everything is different because everything is very formal. And if we are just going for a friend's birthday party or some other different kind, some casual kind of a celebration, then of course you are in a different mode altogether. So formality and info, where the formalities are not required. So research writing is an area where certain formalities are defined. defined हैं वो कि it has to be like this. So why are these formalities defined? These are defined so that the writer, when the writer writes, reader can understand. जो भी हम लिख रहे हैं, why are we writing this? To express something, to express an idea, to express a thought, to express a belief, action. Whatever is, something is there which I wish to convey, and I can do it through my writing. अब मैंने लिख तो दिया, but if the other person cannot comprehend what I'm writing, then my writing has no effect at all. It is not effective. So what do I need to do? I need to follow certain guidelines so that my writing is easily understood. That is one. And also your progression of thoughts, your linking of ideas, your connecting your thought process, everything has to be clearly projected in what you are writing. So ये punctuation marks को ऐसा भी बोला जाता है कि जैसे when we are talking, when I'm talking to you, I'm using my hand gestures. You can see my expressions. You can understand with the tone of my voice. So all these things are helping me express myself. पर अगर writing जब होती है, so there is no tone of voice, there are no gestures, there is no body language, just black and white print on the paper. And sometimes the meanings may get misinterpreted. So punctuations are also known as the body language. Like suppose if I'm saying something and I have put a comma there, it has a meaning. If I'm putting a semicolon there, pay attention. A full stop also talks. So all these punctuation marks are very, very important. Sometimes we pay attention to our order of words, but we do not pay attention to punctuation marks because we have this notion that maybe just through order of words we will be able to convey. But a wrong punctuation mark can change the meaning entirely. So uh, there is a famous sentence ki come, let's eat. So come, comma, let's eat, comma, grandma. So grandma, come, let's eat. But if you remove the comma, it becomes come, let's eat, grandma. So imagine the meaning has just turned horrendous. So there are so many situations where the omission of a punctuation mark can change the context. That is why very, very important to understand. And even comma shows a pause, semicolon shows a pause, colon shows some has a different function, full stop shows a pause, a comma, semicolon, full stop. So all of these show the pause. Then what is the difference between one full stop and comma? What's the difference between comma and semicolon? What's the difference between semicolon and maybe some other punctuation mark? So we have to have a very strong grip over these punctuation marks, which are our friends. So they come to our rescue. इतनी बार हम बोलना चाहते हैं और पूरी बात ना बोल के we just put dot dot dot. That means a lot is to be said. That also becomes a punctuation mark. So everything speaks, everything has a function. So music also, like if I mean, because I'm very fond of music, so I always love to give this example that Bollywood music, popular music is very easy to sing, imitate, and learn. But when you talk about classical music, then there are certain technicalities which you have to learn. And only with those technicalities can you really master the art. Because again, that's formal. And Bollywood music is informal. So that is why all these nitty-gritties of punctuation and different activities that we are going to be doing in our sessions will be very, very useful for us. So, right, any any questions? My voice is echoing. Yes, it stopped now. So, any questions till now, or shall we just move on? If you have any questions, any doubts, please feel free to share. What are the challenges we face when we are writing something? Can anybody share that? Challenges हमको क्या क्या आते हैं जब हम कोई भी भाषा में लिखना चाहते हैं? एक तो language itself is is a very, very important tool for us to express ourselves. And especially English
Madam,
में तो
madam,
yes,
grammar is an another obstacle, we can say.
grammar is
Another obstacle for writing.
uh-huh.
For writing anything, like an paper or article.
Absolutely. Without grammar and without vocabulary, we cannot express anything. So that is very, very important. But everyone talks about grammar, everyone talks about vocabulary, and sometimes we do not talk much about punctuation marks. So, we are going to be talking about grammar, we are going to be talking about vocabulary, we are going to be talking about pronunciation also. We are going to be doing um, syllables and so many spelling rules also. Yes, so I'm going to start with my presentation. So, first of
Okay,
all,
Miss.
can you tell me, yes, do you wish to share anything? Anybody? Okay, presentation is not visible. So I am going to go to my presentation now. And I will अब जैसे आप जो भी लिखेंगे, आप ओवरव्यू लिखेंगे, समरी लिखेंगे, आप रिसर्च पेपर्स लिखेंगे, तो उसमें आप एक कनेक्टिंग ऑफ आइडियाज को फॉलो करेंगे. Can anybody tell me what is coherence and what is cohesion? Can you see the screen now?
Yes,
Is
madam. It is
my
visible.
presentation visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So, technical aspects of writing, technical, जैसे जो भी मैंने कहा अभी आपको कि एक तो informal हो सकता है, एक formal होता है, और formality जहाँ होती है, वहाँ पे certain technicalities need to be followed. So, writing mechanics, मतलब technical aspects of writing, technicalities in writing, yes? So what are we going to be learning? We are going to be learning about spelling, punctuation, capitalization, quotation, hyphens, and italics. Now, where all do we use capitalization? अगर हमको thesis करना है, title लिखना है, तो where should I be using capital letters and where should I be using small letters? Can anybody tell me that? Capitalization. So capitalization also has certain rules. Punctuation has certain rules. Spelling has certain rules. हर चीज के कुछ कुछ रूल्स हैं जो कि हम सीखने वाले हैं, और उसी के साथ में ग्रामर भी सीखने वाले हैं. क्योंकि अगर मेरी ग्रामर सही नहीं है तो फिर मैं पंक्चुएशन मार्क भी सही अगर लगा दिए तो सेंटेंस तो वैसे ही गलत हो जाएगा. So it is very important that my grammar, my construction of sentences, everything has to be correct. Along with it, my punctuation marks should also be correctly placed. That is very, very important. Okay, so we are going to be doing now. Let's understand a little more. So why is this important to understand? अब होगा क्या कि जैसे आप लिख रहे हैं और लिखने में लिखना easy है क्या? Is it easy to write? Or is it difficult to write? Somebody's mic is on. Could you please mute? Somebody's mic is on.
Yes, ma'am, I'm checking.
आवाज बहुत इको हो रहा है. Yes. Yes, I think it's better now. So, जैसे हमने लिखा, लिखना is an art. यहाँ तक आज मैं पढ़ रही थी कहीं कि even thinking is an art. Just because we have learned certain things, it does not mean that thinking and writing will come to us easily. It's a very, very complex process. We have to train ourselves to think in a positive manner. Otherwise, negativity will attack us at all times. Similarly, we have to train ourselves to write in the right manner. So, writing mechanics, how is it going to help you? It is going to help you stay focused on the thoughts that are being conveyed. Because अगर आप focused नहीं हैं, तो क्या होगा? Your thoughts will be all over the place. Like, for example, if you decide to go for shopping and you decide to go to a big mall, maybe the Empress Mall, and you decide to buy many, many things for you, you have lots of ideas, you have to do a lot of shopping, but you have not made a list. So you will go to one section और आपका फोकस शिफ्ट हो जाएगा. अरे मुझे यहाँ नहीं, मुझे तो ग्रोसरी में कुछ खरीदना था. You go to the grocery section and suddenly your focus will shift. I had to go to the home decor section. You go to the home decor section and again your focus will shift. I had to go to the gadget section. Now, why is this happening? Because my planning has not been done. I have not planned what I'm going to be doing. So my focus will keep shifting. But if I have a well laid out plan and then I go to the mall, if I'm in the home decor section, my focus stays there. If I'm in the gadget section, my focus stays there. I do things in a systematic manner. With less time, I complete my shopping and I come out of the mall a happy person because I have achieved the result that I had set out for myself. But if I'm not focused on what I want to do, I will keep drifting. So similar is the case in writing. My ideas need to be very well planned. I have to note down. That is why before we set to write, the initial planning is very important because the initial planning helps us stay focused when we take up the task of writing the full length paper. So that is very, very important. If I am writing, so important to make comprehension easier. Now I have written something with all my heart, with all my sincerity, in complete genuineness, with a lot of efforts, and I take the paper to you, and you will say, what is this? I've not understood anything of what you have written. I can't comprehend. Because if I do not follow certain writing mechanics, the meanings will not be conveyed the way I wish them to. So, again, very important comprehension. Your writing is going to be effective when the person can read it and understand it. And there is no mental friction. Now, what is mental friction? Mental friction is when I am reading something and then I cannot understand. So what do I do? I'm in a state of dilemma, whether it could mean this or it could mean something else. So I am confused and there is a mental friction. I don't know which meaning should I go for. And in the process, I have slowed down because I could have continued with my reading, but suddenly I've reached a point where I cannot make out what is meant to be expressed. And I'm putting my own interpretations there. And that will slow down my progress, that will put a pause to what I was reading. So that room for mental friction should not be there. It should be a continuous, easy, smooth flow of writing which can be understood in an easy go. Similarly, if like mental friction is there and I have made my own interpretations. So if I make my own interpretations, that means there could be an error also in what I am interpreting. Maybe that is not what you were wanting to convey. So this interpretational error can completely defeat the purpose of what was to be conveyed. So there should be no room for interpretational error. There should be no room for mental friction. There should be no room for focus getting diverted. In fact, it should all stay in place. Only then we can have a powerful tool for clarity. So that is very, very important because I'm very fond of writing and I write, I mean, um, I've written books also and I've checked many technical papers also. So I know how the thought process moves. I've checked many technical papers also, so that is why I have my interest in technical writing increased so much to understand what goes wrong where and how can we make it better. And fortunately this is such a wonderful unit and you get to learn so much, so please really imbibe everything that we are going to be discussing here and put it into practice, because writing is an art and it is something which we really need to practice on a daily basis. So मैम ने पूछा था, चौबे मैम ने, कि इसमें ग्रामर आता है। ऑफ कोर्स ग्रामर आता है। हम लोग बहुत बेसिक से शुरू करने वाले हैं और इसमें बहुत बेसिक चीजें सीखने वाले हैं। वी आर गोइंग टू बी लर्निंग वेरी वेरी सिंपल थिंग्स, वेरी बेसिक थिंग्स, बट विच आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। सो कोई बहुत हाई फ्लोन कॉम्प्लेक्स और बहुत डिफिकल्ट कॉन्सेप्ट्स तो यहाँ पर है ही नहीं। These are things which are very very simple to understand. You will say that they are very very basic, but they are extremely important and significant. जैसे दाल में नमक बहुत बेसिक है, पर अगर दाल बिना नमक के बन गई तो फिर कोई मजा नहीं आएगा, because नमक adds to the flavor. Similarly, all these very basic things are very very simple, but they are very important because without them the meaning changes, the context changes, the interpretation changes. So that is why this is very very important unit for everyone. Okay, so now I'm going to be doing, so we are doing English, and English is a foreign language for us, so obviously we are not very comfortable with the language. तो बहुत ही बेसिक से मैं शुरू करना चाहती हूँ। इज दैट ओके विथ एवरीवन? हम बेसिक से शुरू करें, कुछ स्पेलिंग रूल से, कुछ प्रोनाउंसिएशन से। यस, प्लीज फील फ्री टू शेयर हाउ आर लेटर्स, वर्ड्स कैसे बनते हैं, लेटर्स के साउंड्स कैसे होते हैं, सिलेबल्स क्या होते हैं, प्रोनाउंसिएशंस क्या होते हैं, स्पेलिंग रूल्स क्या होते हैं। आज हम करने वाले हैं वहां से शुरू। Shall we do
I
that?
love, I love this.
Huh?
I'd like to. I would love to have this kind of session.
Okay, okay, wonderful. Sir, it's so wonderful to get a positive feedback. Yes. And what about others? Yes, yes, wonderful,
Yes, ma'am.
wonderful. Yes, very nice.
Yes, ma'am.
So, आपको ये जैसे बहुत ही सिंपल सिंपल रूल्स होते हैं जो कहीं ना कहीं हमारे मिस आउट हो जाते हैं, और आज हम उन्हीं रूल्स को थोड़ा सा रिवाइज करेंगे। और जब हम रिवाइज करेंगे तो हमें पता चलेगा, वाओ दिस इज इंटरेस्टिंग, ऐसा भी देखा जा सकता है, ऐसा भी देखा जा सकता है, इससे भी हम सीख सकते हैं। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट। सो I'm going to, so everything begins with sound, right? हर चीज में तो साउंड है, बोलने में साउंड है, सुनने में साउंड है। तो इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में भी हमारे जो बेसिक यूनिट है वो क्या है? वो है अक्षर। जैसे हिंदी में अक्षर है, जैसे मराठी में अक्षर है, जैसे हर भाषा की बेसिक यूनिट अक्षर होती है, वैसे ही हमारी इंग्लिश की भी बेसिक यूनिट अक्षर है, लेटर्स। अब उन लेटर्स से बनेंगे वर्ड्स। तो जैसे मैंने पहली बेसिक यूनिट आपको यहाँ पे कुछ दे दी है, ई यू ए ओ एन डी और ए बी सी डी, दीज आर ऑल लेटर्स। A to Z is the group of letters and it is called an alphabet. So an alphabet is a group of 26 letters. A is a letter, A is not an alphabet. B is a letter, B is not an alphabet, it is a letter in the alphabet. So letters से हमारे A to Z alphabet बन गया। अब letters से बनते हैं words. So words बनेंगे हमारे, जैसे ये हमारे थोड़े से spaced out letters हैं, और इन letters में I capital हो गया, but all these letters when they are put together they make a wonderful word education. अब इन वर्ड से बन जाते हैं फ्रेजेस। जब दो तीन वर्ड्स ग्रुप में आ जाते हैं तो हमारा एक फ्रेज बन जाता है। फ्रेजेस से बन जाते हैं क्लॉजेस, क्लॉजेस से बन जाते हैं सेंटेंसेस, सेंटेंसेस से बनते हैं पैराग्राफ्स, और पैराग्राफ से बनते हैं आर्टिकल। So this is how this is the journey of actually understanding how we are expressing ourselves in writing. So right from letters to words to phrases to clauses to sentences to paragraphs and to articles. So we are going to be doing, आज हम जो करने वाले हैं आज का सेशन में, we are going to be talking about letters and words. कल के सेशंस में हम करेंगे phrases and clauses. So इन सब के साथ, बिकॉज पंक्चुएशन मार्क ऐसे मैं आपको इनके बिना तो हम डिस्कस ही नहीं कर सकते। एवरीथिंग इज इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ व्हाट वी आर राइटिंग। So in the phrase, in the sentence, in the clauses, how are we using these punctuation marks? So all that we are going to be learning tomorrow. अब आपने अगर सिलेबस देखा होगा तो सिलेबस में आपका एक यूनिट है, एक टॉपिक है वर्ड डिविजन। नाउ हाउ डू यू डिवाइड वर्ड्स? तो इसलिए हमने पहले आज लेटर्स से करेंगे, लेटर्स के बाद वर्ड्स को समझेंगे, वर्ड्स को कैसे डिवाइड किया जाता है और क्यों डिवाइड किया जाता है उस तरीके से, दैट इज व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड। सो लेटर्स, साउंड्स ऑफ इंग्लिश। नाउ साउंड्स ऑफ इंग्लिश में सबसे पहले, द मोमेंट आई से साउंड्स ऑफ इंग्लिश, you would say sounds of अगर मैं किसी भी चीज के sounds of English, sounds of हिंदी या sounds of मराठी या sounds of तेलुगु या sounds of किसी भी language के बारे में बात करूं, so what are the two basic kinds of sounds that you can talk about? जैसे मराठी भाषा की बात करें या जैसे हिंदी भाषा की बात करें तो अक्षर तो हमें पता चल गए। अब अक्षर हमारे दो प्रकार के हो सकते हैं, सो उन अक्षरों के कौन से साउंड्स हो सकते हैं? कैन एनीबडी टेल मी?
मैडम आपके भाव, आपके इमोशंस आर दी अनदर important thing. Your emotions or your yes.
एब्सोल्युटली पद्मा मैम, आप बहुत ही अच्छा इनपुट दे रहे हैं, बहुत बहुत सही। आपके भाव, आपके इमोशंस आपको एक्सप्रेस करने में हेल्प करते हैं, बिल्कुल सही। मेरा बेसिक क्वेश्चन ये है कि अगर हम किसी भी भाषा की बात करें तो भाषा में अक्षर होते हैं जो इंग्लिश में लेटर्स कहे जाते हैं। उन अक्षरों के कितने तरह के उच्चारण हो सकते हैं, या अगर मैं अक्षर के साउंड्स के बारे में बोलूं तो कौन से दो ग्रुप्स होते हैं जिनमें मैं अक्षर को डिवाइड कर सकती हूँ?
Vowels and consonants.
एब्सोल्युटली। सो अगर जैसे हम हिंदी की बात करें तो स्वर और व्यंजन, तो स्वर में सारे आपके आ ई वाले आ जाते हैं, व्यंजन में आपके क ख ग घ आ जाते हैं, है ना? और इंग्लिश में क्या आता है? वॉवल्स एंड कॉन्सोनेंट्स। अब भले ही वो हिंदी के स्वर हों या इंग्लिश के वॉवल्स हों, द लॉजिक बिहाइंड बोथ इज द सेम। आई डोंट नो हाउ, ये कैसे मिस्ट्री है कि साउंड जो है वो हालांकि उच्चारण अलग अलग है पर फिर भी जो लॉजिक है वो ऑलमोस्ट सेम है। तो लॉजिक ये है कि जब हम स्वर की बात करते हैं या इंग्लिश में ए ई आई ओ यू, तो हमारे वॉवल्स के नाम हैं, ए ई आई ओ यू, पर इनके साउंड्स अलग अलग हैं, बहुत सारे साउंड्स हैं, डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ साउंड्स है। और वो साउंड्स आपको वॉवल बताते हैं। तो जैसे ए का साउंड आता है, ई का भी, आई का, सबका अलग अलग, तो जिसमें आपकी वोकल कॉर्ड्स आर नॉट कॉन्स्ट्रिक्टेड, यू कैन जस्ट प्रोनाउंस द साउंड फ्रीली। जैसे बच्चे जब भाषा सीखते हैं तो वो पहले कैसे सीखते हैं? आ करते हैं, खाली उनको कुछ लिप मूवमेंट नहीं करना होता, कुछ टीथ मूवमेंट नहीं करना होता, कुछ टंग मूवमेंट नहीं करना होता, एंड द साउंड कम्स आउट। So all those sounds are vowel sounds, जिसमें हमारी न टंग, न टीथ, न हमारे lips, they do not play any role. It is just all these sounds. So जब ये sounds आते हैं ये vowel sounds आ जाते हैं। और जहां कॉन्सोनेंट आता है वहां पे आपके लिप्स ज्वाइन हो रहे हैं, या टीथ आर टचिंग, या योर टंग इज टचिंग द पैलेट, और so all this, your air that is passing from your vocal cords is getting constricted here, and then the sound is coming. So that becomes your vowel sound. Sorry, consonant sound. That becomes your consonant sounds. So that is the basic difference between the vowel and consonants. The sound is important. So you, even though it is a vowel, but you बोलिए आप, you अगर बोलेंगे तो you का sound vowel sound नहीं है। So that is why when we say university, then we say a university, and university nahi bolte hain. So it is very important to understand the difference between the vowel and consonant sounds. So U has two sounds. Similarly, Y works as a vowel at times, and sometimes it works as a consonant. H. H sometimes works as a consonant, and honest mate works, it's silent. So H has no sound there. So an honest man. So ये जब हम sound समझते हैं तब हम a and भी समझते हैं, because And अगर मैं बोलूं a apple, I ate a apple, I saw a elephant, I saw a aeroplane, बोलना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. A elephant, a apple, नहीं बोल पाते. तो इसलिए उसको चेंज करने के लिए and कर दिया. An elephant, an apple, an alligator, an umbrella, but a यूनिवर्सिटी. सो ये जो अ और एन का साउंड है, जो प्रोनाउंसिएशन है, that is also based on the sounds of the vowels. Okay, so this was the basic. Hope everything is clear till now. Yes, can you please,
Yes, ma'am.
all going okay? Okay, so huh? Okay, so we are going to understand this are the now the vowels also have two kinds of sounds. एक तो इनका साउंड होता है ए और एक होता है short vowel sound, and then it has other vowel sounds also. So why are we learning this? Because this is the basic of spelling. अगर आपने ये समझ लिया, so many times we get confused with spelling. So आपको मैं एक बहुत सिंपल सा रूल बताती हूँ. फ्लॉस एक रूल है. फ्लॉस. अब वो स्पेलिंग रूल से आपको कितनी सारी चीजें क्लियर हो जाएंगी कि अगर एंड में आपका कोई भी वर्ड एफ से एंड होता है, एल से एंड होता है, तो द लास्ट लेटर इज डबल्ड. और जैसे ये लॉन्ग वॉवल है, ये शॉर्ट वॉवल साउंड है, तो इन साउंड से आपकी मतलब वॉवल के ऐड होने से स्पेलिंग चेंज हो जाती है. सो डू यू वांट टू नो? आई जस्ट शेयर दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. सो like I said, vowels have two sounds. So one sound is the name of the vowel. A, E, I, O, U. This is the name of the vowel, and that is how the sound is. पर एक होता है cat, bed, sit, top, sun. तो ये हो गया short vowel sound और ये हो गया long vowel sound when you are speaking out the name of the vowel. अब इसमें wonderful difference क्या है? I want you to see this table. आप मुझे ये बताइए, CUB कब और CUBE क्या हो गया? क्यूब, KIT किट, KITE काइट. तो ये बताइए किटे क्यों नहीं हुआ, कबे क्यों नहीं हुआ? भाई CUB कब, आपने ई लगा दिया तो कबे होना चाहिए था. KIT किट, ई लगा दिया तो किटे होने चाहिए था. PIN पिन, पिने क्यों नहीं होता? MED मैड, मैडे क्यों नहीं होता? बिट का बिटे क्यों नहीं होता? ऐसे क्यों नहीं होते? ये हमने कभी सोचा ही नहीं. तो इसके पीछे साउंड चेंज हो रहा है. KIT किट इज अ शॉर्ट वॉवल साउंड. खाली ई लगने से इन सब में साइलेंट ई इट इज कॉल्ड. एंड साइलेंट ई से ई का प्रोनाउंसिएशन चेंज नहीं होता. प्रोनाउंसिएशन चेंज होता है जो वॉवल बीच में आ रहा है उसका प्रोनाउंसिएशन चेंजेस. सो किट, ई ऐड हो गया काइट. कप, ई ऐड हो गया क्यूब. पिन, पाइन. मैट, मेड. बिट, बाइट. कैन, केन. टप, ट्यूब. कैप, केप. टैप, टेप. पैन, पेन. तो कितनी बार पैन, पेन में, जैसे पेन है PEN पेन, pen or P-A-I-N, pain. So I've seen so many children getting confused कि pen है कि pain है कि pain. Test, T-S-T, test, T-A-S-T-E, taste. तो उसमें कंफ्यूजन हो जाता है कि कल टेस्ट है क्या, कल टेस्ट है क्या, कल टेस्ट है. And how does it taste? So one is a short vowel sound and one is a long vowel sound. So there is a difference. और ये हमें समझना बहुत important है because this will help us in understanding spelling better. So जैसे pen, कितनी बार I've heard people adults say give me a pen. अब पेन का मतलब होता है दर्द. तो आप किससे बोल रहे हो कि मुझे दर्द दीजिए, मुझे पेन दीजिए, मुझे दुख दर्द दीजिए. पेन नहीं चाहिए आपको, आपको चाहिए पेन. तो पेन is a short vowel sound, pain is a long vowel sound, test is a short vowel sound, taste, T-A-S-T-E, E आ गया एंड में, vowel sound change हो गया. So ये जो short vowel sound हैं ये बड़े काम के होते हैं, and even these long vowel sounds. अब how do we know? So अब मैं आपको एक और ट्रिक बताने वाली हूँ. आप लोग ऐसे कीजिए. I love this trick and I love sharing this with everyone because it really helps in understanding how words are built. तो वर्ड्स, शब्दों को कैसे जोड़ा जाता है या इंग्लिश में कैसे स्पेलिंग का फंक्शन क्या होता है. सो दिस रियली हेल्प्स अस इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट. सपोज आई टॉक अबाउट पिन. सो इफ आई पुट माय हैंड हियर एंड आई से पिन, तो आप करके देखिएगा आपकी चिन एक बार नीचे जाती है. पिन, अप, हैट, कैप, गॉट, सन. तो जितनी बार आप ऐसे नीचे बोल रहे हैं और चिन नीचे जा रही है, that shows the sound of one vowel. और इस sound of one vowel को कहते हैं one syllable. Is it making sense what we are doing? So if we talk about one syllable word, then all these words that I have shared here are one syllable. So kit, cup, pin, mat, pit, can, tub, cap, tap, pan. ये लेटर्स से अब हमने दूसरी यूनिट देखी जिसमें कि शॉर्ट वॉवल साउंड से वन सिलेबल वर्ड्स बन रहे हैं. अब नेक्स्ट पे जाएंगे और वही दूसरी चीज है, ई से प्रोनाउंसिएशन चेंज हो गया. सो देयर इज अनदर वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग विच आई विल बी डूइंग लेटर. अभी मैं आपको ये बताती हूँ. जैसे मैंने आपसे सिलेबल कहा, तो syllable is a word part and the basic unit of English rhythm. एक शब्द में 1, 2 और 3 syllables हो सकते हैं और वो syllables आपके vowel sound पे बनते हैं. Vowel sound पे syllables बनते हैं. So let's see here. Are you doing this exercise जो मैंने आपको चिन वाली बोली थी? Spider. So how many times does the chin go down? 2 times. So it's spider. Window. So there are 2 syllables. अब ये जानना क्यों जरूरी है? तो ये जानना इसलिए जरूरी है कि जब आप वर्ड्स को डिवाइड करते हैं तो आप उनको हमेशा सिलेबल से डिवाइड करेंगे. आप उनको इनकरेक्टली वर्ड डिवीजन नहीं कर सकते. इट बिकम्स इनकरेक्ट. सो अगर हमें सिलेबल से वर्ड्स को डिवाइड करना है तो आई शुड हैव दैट अवेयरनेस. Where are syllables being used? What are syllables? अगर मुझे awareness नहीं है तो how will I divide the words? So जैसे spider, तो spider, spider, that is how you can divide. Window, that's how you can divide. ये syllables के basis पे division हो रहा है. So word division के लिए this is very very important to understand. Okay, is this clear with everyone? Why should we understand syllables? Word division हम करते कैसे हैं? We use a hyphen to divide a word. Now, that word can be a big word. उसमें अगर suffix है या prefix है तो आपके लिए बहुत easy है because आप suffix या prefix से divide कर सकते हैं. पर अगर suffix और prefix नहीं है, the word in itself is like organization or intellectual property or ऐसे I mean it's a big word but you have to divide it. So how will you do it? You will do it on the basis of syllable division, not any other way, because that becomes incorrect. So this is the first lesson for today. Please, I mean, if you wish to ask anything, please feel free to ask. Sen Gupta sir, does this make sense, what we just did? Do you have any questions? Or Padma ma'am? Or anyone?
Ma'am, it was wonderful to learn all these things. I have gone from my childhood. I have learned all these things, but never explained in this manner. This is
That is
what you
what
have to learn. This is what you have to learn. That's what.
that is what I said. You will be learning some very basic things, very simple
Yes,
things,
ma'am.
but
Yes, ma'am.
with a new perspective, something which we
Exactly,
never
ma'am.
done. Yes, huh?
In my schools, never we never taught about things this way.
Yes,
This was so interesting to learn things. But
yes.
somehow it's a pity that we have not our teachers, though they were very good teachers, but their technique was different.
Yes, and somehow these simple things get ignored. And because
Yes, ma'am.
everything, like we learn a language, we learn it is like building a big wall, and each brick has to be laid out very clearly, very, every bit has a specific function.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that is why I thought, let me start with this very, very basic. Yes. So I'm going to do something. This is again very, very basic, but I'm sure no one ever thought of it this way. So there are 5 spelling rules, and this is so simple. If you please share this information with as many people, children, all around, with all those. I mean, knowledge is for sharing. So please make them aware. If if the word ends in FLS, and if there's a short vowel sound, the last letter is always doubled. So puff, fluff, cliff, all these are very simple words. The last letter is always doubled. So this is the first rule, floss rule. Sometimes the letters, so letters ऐसे लगता है ना कि लास्ट में डबल हो रहा है, कभी मिडिल में डबल हो रहा है letter. So when does that take place? That take place when there are 2 syllables, and the first syllable has a short vowel. So always the consonant in the center will be doubled. That is a rule. So doubling the letters at the end, doubling the letters in the middle, there is a logic behind it. And then if suppose run, pat, big, these are one syllable words. And if you are adding a suffix to it, ing, the last letter is always doubled. So these, when we understand these short vowel sound, the syllables, then spelling becomes easy. So we just learned two rules. When is the last letter doubled and when is the middle letter doubled? That is what we have to read. That is what we have to remember. Then we come to common root words. Acha, just tell me one more thing. Before I start something new, I want to know one more thing before we do the exercise, because I'm going to be doing an exercise with everyone. Some consonants, we talked about the vowels right now, but some consonants in English are very, very tricky. Can you tell me what are those consonants in English which have a tricky pronunciation? Anybody? The letter C. We do not get to know कब C के बाद स sound होगा, कब C का sound होगा. There's always a confusion. Application has ka and appreciation has sa. So why this discrimination between sa and ka? कभी C को C का sound सा ही रखते या का ही रखते? Why do they want us to get confused? You know, some words have C and sa sound and some words have ka sound. So can anybody throw some light on this, or if you have any idea why does this happen? Okay, so I'll tell you. Again, our vowels play a very important role. Similarly with G also. Sometimes it is game, got, gun, but it is germs, gestures, giraffe. So what's happening? Where is it ga? Where is it ja? And then the important thing is, because K then does not do much work, because, okay, I'll tell you why Sika sound. Do you want to know the Sika sound first? The sound of C and then the sound of G? Or Preeti ma'am, shall we? Okay, shall we take a break now? It's 3. So Preeti ma'am, shall we take a break and then continue, or shall I just continue? Preeti ma'am?
Yes, madam.
Shall we take 5 minutes break and then continue?
Yes, ma'am. Participants, आपको
Oh,
break चाहिए कि continue करना है?
I'd love to hear her for the entire day.
okay.
Ma'am,
So,
continue कर सकते हैं.
So please, we'll take a break for 5 minutes and then we'll come back. Ma'am,
yes,
जी जी.
we'll
you
take a
need a
break
break.
for 5 minutes
Yeah.
and then come
Yes,
back.
ma'am.
Okay.